Hey everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid. Welcome to the Universal Energy Forecast for this week, January 26th. Pretty much the first solid week in this year's Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, and I hope you've listened to my Hay House radio show this past Thursday. You can listen to the repeats because I had special guest Robert Ohotto on to talk about this in detail, so don't miss that, and also don't miss his download for Mercury retrograde. We all need to listen to it and read it. It's very, very potent. Okay. So, what do the cards say this week for the energies that are going to be influencing all of us? And I chose Wisdom of the Hidden Realms to help us tell the story. And so the first card that comes up is fantastic. It's the Web Weaver. And whenever the Web Weaver comes up as an upright card, it reminds us that divine synchronicities are always there. I'm writing my new book now called Uncharted, and it's all about how this invisible map of the soul is always, always present every time we take a step in the right direction. It rolls out just like a magic carpet. So in fact, this week, we're being required to take a look at how does synchronicity show up when we're in alignment. When we're not in alignment, we're going to notice things that show us that we're off track. So just pay attention this week. It's a really good week to see the real positive stuff happen too. Lady of the Gift, generosity. So we're asked to see how generous are we with ourselves and with others in sharing our ideas, our gifts, the positive ones too, right? So we're talking about the divine intelligence of the highest good for all. And because Mercury retrograde asks us to look at and re-look at the things that we need to help set ourselves free from. And in this week's case, we're looking at the way that we conditionally deal with our light. For example, how do we dim our light? When we dim our light, we dim our power in general. So now it's saying, in order to shine our light, we become generous and open. We surrender with arms up, not down. So it's also wonderful, wonderful energy this week for us to take a look at and to act out that sense of generosity to ourselves and others. We're in this together. We don't do this alone. It's a collaborative effort with Spirit as our co-creative partner. Now, we have the Spiral Dancer as the next card in the story, which is all about sitting it out. So in other words, this isn't a week to make giant plans, it's a week to go over things, right? So it's telling us that you got to sit out the dance this week in some areas of your life, and that's fantastic. That means that you don't have to do everything this week. Nothing has to happen all at once. It's more about an invitation to observe. So when the Spiral Dancer is reversed, it's a protection card. It's always, always to guide us and guard us and show us what we need to help us, not to hurt us. So it's saying, like, sit on the sidelines for a little bit, observe. How do all these things operate in your life? Because it's all about the Swan Queen at the end, which is all about transformation and trusting your intuition as a navigation tool. We all are going through something right now, and I think when Robert first started talking about this, I was really fascinated because I was starting to look at that in myself too. Where do you dumb yourself down so others will accept you? Where do you not allow your ideas to germinate because you think they're too weird or they're too fringe or you're assuming that others will not accept you? And then where does elitism come around with that too? Like, are we better than others or are we less than? So we want to get right sized. That's really the lesson for this week as well. When we are generous, we don't have an agenda. There's no agenda in generosity. If there is, it's manipulation. So it's dropping our agendas this week, seeing ourselves as part of the whole. The minute we do that, and synchronicity, it's like playing an instrument when you ping a guitar string and it's so in tune. You then get to add the verse, your own verse to the symphony, and this is what this week is all about. So take advantage of this. We're all in a fabulous place together. Remember, keep calm and carry on and observe. Sit it out this week, and yet do the due diligence of observing and taking a look at what needs to be transformed, because it's always for the best and the highest good for all. So before I go, I just want to remind you at the end of this, there's going to be a link to go check out Robert Ohotto's Mercury Retrograde in Aquarius podcast. It is so packed full of really great information and tools for us to use over the next 3 weeks. I highly recommend it. I bought it, I've done it, I've read it, I spent the whole weekend reading it. It's awesome. So go ahead, great audio content from Robert Ohotto again.
Traveling down the road, I didn't know that I was lost. I had tried too many shortcuts, and the cost left my heart broken. So I had it closed for